Hey, I'm Claire, and I want to tell you about a retreat I'm going to be offering from November 15th through the 17th on the topic of rebirth, metaphorically speaking. We all have these moments in our lives when we go through transitions, whether they're big transitions like moving to a different city, changing our jobs, losing a loved one, marrying, having a kid. So there are all these different types of transitions that we can face in our lives. And the thing about transitions is that those times in our lives tend to be more stressful. They tend to be really times when we're having to redefine who we are. We all go through these transitions in our lives, whether we intend to or not. But the thing is, we don't necessarily all end up getting as much benefit as we could get from these times of transition. And that's what this retreat is about, to help us really get as much benefit as possible from these times that we're going to go through anyway. The real purpose of this retreat is to give you the tools to be able to manage this transition that you're in right now, whatever that might be, better, to help you get prepared for future transitions, and just to help you get as much benefit as possible out of every transition that we go through in life. And at the end of the day, even every moment, is its own little transition. So these are really skills that we can apply across the board in transitions every day of our lives. I've identified some stages of transitions, and we're going to talk about those during the retreat. So these stages are, first of all, the way things were. So whatever old identity and old set of circumstances that we're coming from, we start there. The next stage of the transition is the dissolution of those old circumstances. So in the case of moving from one city to another, the dissolution process might be packing up your house. Then we're going to talk about the third stage, which is the in-between time. So this might be after you've packed up your old house, you've put everything in the moving truck, you're moving it, and then really even into the unpacking in the new place that you're moving into, there's still an in-between quality. It hasn't settled into the new normal yet. And then the fourth stage that we're going to talk about is the birth of that new normal. And that birth really comes about using energies, or in the example of a house and moving, using the materials of that old life to build something new. Most of the time, the hardest part of a transition is actually the second and third stages, the dissolution of what's old, and then giving ourselves the time and the space to be in between the old and the new. But that's also where a lot of the spiritual growth happens. So in this retreat, we're going to spend most of our time for the weekend on those second and third stages of transition, the dissolution and the in-between space. We're going to use conversations with each other, guided meditations, some journaling or art exercises to really dig into what it means to have our old world fall apart and to be in that in-between space. And hopefully over the course of the weekend, we'll think back about previous transitions that we've all gone through and see if we want to reframe those in any way. Sometimes we go through a big transition without necessarily realizing that's what's happening. So we'll look back at the past, we'll think about where we are in the present, we'll also learn some tools and techniques so that the next time we go through a transition, which is bound to happen again, we might be a little more comfortable going into some of those scary and vulnerable places. I think this retreat is going to be really special, and I hope that you can join us. It's limited to 12 participants, so please click on this link. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also find the link in the info box below the video. But please click on that link and add your contact information so that you can get notified as soon as possible when registration opens for the retreat. The retreat begins at 7 p.m. Central Time on Friday, November 15th. We'll have an evening session. On Saturday, the retreat will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with some breaks in between there. And then Sunday, we'll meet from 10 a.m. to noon to do a little processing and wrap things up. The retreat costs $150, and basically what you get is obviously participating live in the retreat. You'll also have the recordings of the retreat videos uploaded so you can rewatch them at any time. You'll also get guided meditations that you can download as MP3 files, and you'll get some journal prompts and other exercises that you can download as PDF or Word files. So I hope that you'll come away from this retreat not just having had an experience over the weekend, but really with some tools to take this forward into your life. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you on November 15th.